Hey y'all, Data Guy here. And today I wanted to make a video on a job posting and a job type that I've seen really explode in the past 2 years, in conjunction with the emerging AI boom, the ML boom, every company needing to have some kind of strategy for AI and ML to actually stay relevant. And so what I wanted to do is kind of break down exactly what an ML or AI engineer is. It's kind of an emerging term. There hasn't been a lot of clarity around what exactly an ML engineer really does on their day-to-day job. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Explore, what is a ML or AI engineer. I'm going to kind of use those terms interchangeably here. What are they? What kind of skills do they need to have? What does the day of their job look like? And what are some of the pros and cons of the role compared to more traditional data engineering or data science roles? And so, without further ado, let's get into it. So why I have this graphic up on the screen here is, because I want to highlight that an ML engineer is really a combination of so many different other roles. Um, an ML or AI engineer is really a specialized role that focuses on designing, implementing, and deploying algorithms and models that enable machines to perform tasks. But in order to do that, you need to have such an understanding of the business. You need to be able to communicate with other people to say, hey, what do they actually need out of this ML model? Do they know what they're actually really want to search for? Figuring out how to translate business needs into the technical language of the computer model. It really is a synthesis of various disciplines. It's drawing from computer science, from data science, from statistics, and it's just a pivotal role in actually transforming, cutting edge AI, oh, this is so cool research into real world practical applications and real world systems that can autonomously learn, improve, and make decisions. And so the emergence of the ML engineer is really a distinct profession as a response to the rapid advancement and importance of AI in modern technology and industry, as we discussed. And so these engineers are really going to continue to push the boundaries of what they can do, and are at the heart of creating more intelligent and adaptable systems. But it's also about blending theoretical knowledge with practical skills. They're not only experts in programming and software development, but they also have a deep understanding of the theoretical underpinnings of machine learning and artificial intelligence, including knowledge like algorithms, like neural networks, computer vision, natural language processing, robotics, and then applying this knowledge to serve real world problems that require creativity and saying, hey, how do I translate this kind of nerdy textbook stuff, really heady, difficult to understand concepts into something that's going to produce real world value for my stakeholders in the business. And so AI engineers are responsible for the entire life cycle of these AI systems, from that initial concept and data collection to model training, evaluation, deployment. And this process involves significant amounts of experimentation, testing, iteration to refine models, ensure they perform effectively in an intended application, and then also addressing any challenges related to scalability, efficiency, or integration with existing test systems and technologies. As you have to adapt to the tech stack you have, not the tech stack that you wish you had. And so, just in summary, really at the forefront of developing the new intelligence systems that these companies are going to use, and is an inherently multidisciplinary role that requires both a robust set of technical skills, sound foundation in machine learning and AI principles, and also the communication and business just knowledge to apply this to complex real world problems. And so as AI evolves and expands into new areas, the role of the ML and AI engineer is only going to increase in importance. This isn't a role that will go away quickly. It is really only going to continue to grow in both importance and also salary. So now going into the actual skills needed to become an ML engineer, I have a couple of the high level categories up here on the screen. But first things in terms of programming language, being proficient in languages like Python, C++, really Python in particular is very widely used for its extensive libraries, TensorFlow, PyTorch, scikit-learn, and many, many more that simplify the development of ML models. And also pairing these programming skills with software engineering practices, version control, testing with Docker, containerization with Docker, and CI/CD pipelines for having checks and controls, and also versioning. As you iterate these models, you need to keep a good track record of the past models so you can learn from their failures, and also learn things like Java. Generally, the core language is Python, and then you might have to branch out from Python based on the different AI and ML tools that you're using. You'll also need to have, obviously, a very solid understanding of machine learning and deep learning principles. So understanding of core machine learning algorithms like linear regression, decision trees, neural networks, and those kind of principles. And this also means the ability to not only know these models, but understand where they're most applicable, knowing how to select the right model, how to tune things like hyperparameters, evaluate model performance. And so familiarity with deep learning architectures is also important for tasks like image and speech recognition, natural language processing, and really any application where you want to go, kind of that one level deeper from just a basic ML model. Then you also will need to have some data engineering skills and know how to process data, because you don't train an ML model without data. And so knowing how to do data pre-processing, cleaning, feature engineering are really crucial. You're not going to have someone to do that for you, likely. And so ML engineers are going to be working with large data sets. You're going to need to have knowledge of data manipulation tools like Pandas and NumPy, which are both Python libraries, and also experience with SQL and NoSQL databases. And so understanding how to work also with big data technologies like Spark or like Airflow are also really valuable. And also a good understanding of how, cloud computing architecture, because you'll need to likely use scalable compute. Then also mathematics and statistics. This is kind of hand in hand with knowing, how to do machine learning and deep learning, but a strong foundation in mathematics like linear algebra, calculus, probability is really necessary for understanding and developing ML algorithms. And also you have statistic knowledge, which is really, just essential for doing that initial data analysis, hypothesis testing, and model evaluation. So you have that framework of how to think about that. And just to kind of sum up, just some throw some words at you or names of what tools and programming languages need: Python, R, Java, Scala for just programming languages. Then for libraries and frameworks, you have TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit-learn, Keras for ML, DL model development. Every cloud provider has their own set of libraries and frameworks. You also have development and version control tools: GitHub, Jupyter Notebooks, Docker, big data technologies. Again, Spark, Kafka actually for streaming. I've also seen Cassandra used. And what was Kafka? Oh, Apache Flink also, but that's more for streaming actually, so I don't know if that's true. ML, and then cloud services: AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. They all offer machine learning as a service platforms that help provide you the scalable compute you'll need for really large scale model development, training, and deployment. You're going to need to have a way to have distributed computing to handle all this throughput. It's not really viable to run on your local machine, so knowing how to work with those different cloud providers is or whatever cloud provider you're actually going to use is crucial. So now you know the skills you'll need to have as an ML engineer. I also wanted to kind of take a look at what are the responsibilities, what does your day-to-day look like? And I found this matrix that is kind of, I think, is a good representation of showing, what an ML engineer needs to cover versus some other data-centric roles. However, I would argue that machine learning engineer kind of extends into infrastructure as well, but that can be debated, because I also could make an argument for them being in business analysis, but I digress. So right here, just to kind of sum up, go line by line and think about, what is an ML engineer going to need to do day to day? Typical responsibilities are going to be things like, number one, data collection and processing. So gathering, cleaning, and pre-processing data to prepare it for modeling. Then doing model development and training, selecting appropriate algorithms, developing ML models, training them with prepared data sets. Then evaluation and optimization. Testing models against those validations data sets, evaluating the performance, tuning them to improve accuracy or efficiency, and then deployment and integration, integrating those models into production environments, actually making them useful. This might involve things like developing APIs, creating microservices, work with deployment pipelines so that a non-technical user can actually interact with an ML model. And then monitoring and maintenance, continuously monitoring the performance of your deployed models and then updating them as necessary to adapt to new data or changes in the underlying pattern. And that's really kind of your, purview. It really encompasses the entire life cycle of an ML model, as comes with the term ML engineer. So you're responsible for everything from that, developing that data, cleaning it, all the way to just presenting those clean model results, and then having your data scientists or data analysts look at the results of those models and kind of make those business level inferences. But most of the time, you'll also be working hand in glove with that data scientist so that they can be like, hey, let's work together to tune this model so that I can kind of get to the end result that I need. And so that's kind of the day in the life of an ML engineer is, being responsible for all those AI and ML models as if they were your children. So now kind of summing up with a little bit of the pros and cons, and also I found this graphic that kind of shows you the difference between an AI and ML engineer. So I think here it categorizes an AI engineer as really kind of more of a broad, like, hey, AI systems with diverse techniques and algorithms, kind of more cutting edge and just testing exploratory, hey, let's see where this AI thing goes, versus a machine learning engineer is really developing ML models and algorithms to analyze specific issues, tackle specific problems, and it might be a little bit more narrow in focus for a particular use case. And then you have a data science engineer, which is basically just a data scientist, but also that has to clean and prepare their own data and do that kind of data engineering. But in terms of pros and cons, number one on the pro side, high demand. With the growing reliance on AI and machine learning, ML engineers are in high demand across many different industries. You're not going to have a problem finding a job. And it is impactful work. The ability to develop systems that can improve efficiency of businesses, automate tasks, make predictions can have really significant impacts on businesses, but also society. And it's a great opportunity for if you want to get into a field where you're going to be continuously learning, staying on the cutting edge of tech. This field is rapidly evolving and has endless opportunities for learning and working with cutting edge technologies. Now, on the con side of things, the complexity of the work, this role is going to be challenging. It's going to require the ability to solve complex problems and deal with really ambiguous situations, but still drive real world results. You might run into data privacy concerns. They might involve sensitive data, and you're going to have to follow a bunch of really annoying, strict guidelines for privacy laws and ethical considerations. So you don't get the police knocking at your door. And also, on the inverse, if you're not someone that wants to be in a field where you have to be continuously learning, the rapid pace of change in the AI and ML field is probably not for you. It can be really demanding and does require just nonstop learning and adaptation to really on a week-to-week basis. But in summary, an ML engineer combines expertise in software engineering and machine learning to develop intelligent systems. And this role requires a diverse set of skills, including programming, data science, but also an understanding of how to apply these to business problems. And so while the position offers the ability to work on cutting edge tech and make really significant contributions, also comes with its own challenges. You're going to need to be constantly learning. You're going to need to constantly be staying on top of your stuff and really dealing with complex data-driven problems. And you're going to have a lot of people breathing down your neck because everyone's really interested in AI and ML these days. But that is all I have for you today. Just wanted to kind of break down this term and explain it so you can kind of decide if it's a career path you want to explore. But later, y'all. Data Guy out.